Welcome back to Wrestling in Mom's Basement. This is going to be
Part 3
for our year-end awards. We're getting down to the final 9.
Right.
Well, let's get to the next one.
Next up, the worst pay-per-view. In previous years, this is 2011, when we did this award, it has been over the limit in 2011 for me. 2012, Hell in a Cell. 2013, Battleground. 2014, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. 2015, pay-per-view we were at, Royal Rumble. 2016, Fastlane. 2017, pay-per-view I was at, Battleground.
Yep.
There's only 2 I had.
I actually have 5, so...
Did you have 5 just because you went with your 5 lowest overalls? Did you literally have 5 lowest overalls?
Yeah.
Do like 2 not deserve to really be there?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Okay.
It's more or less disappointments, and then my least favorite.
Okay.
Alright, so number 5 for me is going to be WrestleMania 34. Not so much that I hated the event, it kind of was a little disappointing.
Not good with that.
My number 4 would be Elimination Chamber this year.
I know it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
Enter the Woman.
Yeah. The women's one I thought was pretty good. The men's one I just didn't like. It was more or less just another way of setting up Lesnar and Roman, and they booked in the worst possible way with having Strowman eliminate everybody but Roman.
And then the Ronda contract sign, I don't remember any other match besides Chambers.
Yeah. Exactly. So it ended up being one really good chamber, and the rest of the card I don't remember, and one bad chamber. So it's more like a disappointment, and especially on a pay-per-view right on the road to WrestleMania. I think it needs to be a little bit more standout-ish. So number 3, we're getting the ones that I disliked. Crown Jewel. There were a few good matches on Crown Jewel, but essentially the tournament was booked to get Shane over as the best in the world.
Entertaining storyline they're going over for Charles.
Yeah, with him and Miz, it's entertaining. Pretty much it being in Saudi Arabia.
Hogan's return was nice.
Yeah, Hogan's return was nice. And then the...
Shawn Michaels' performance was, well...
Yeah.
No, well, he was good.
And then the Brothers of Destruction
Shawn Michaels was good.
showed their age.
Shawn Michaels was good.
Yeah, but Taker and Kane had to show their age.
Triple H did well for being injured.
Yeah.
AJ and Joe and some had a match. I forget what else. Brian Cena also didn't want to go.
Yeah.
My second place, I have Backlash. For my second.
My second is Extreme Rules.
My first place is Crown Jewel.
My first place is Backlash. That pay-per-view was atrocious.
For me, Crown Jewel show from November in Saudi Arabia was one of the worst pay-per-views arguably ever in terms of booking. There was potential for some good matches, but nothing stood out. It went on way too long, plus there was no women's matches, and that whole show had the dark cloud hanging over it. So that was awful. No, they told me my disk was full. On my laptop, I got to delete some file spot.
Okay.
Yeah. Next up, worst feud. For me, for the previous years, in 2009, Triple H versus Randy Orton. 2010, Kane versus Edge. 2011, Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross. 2012, Kane versus Zack Ryder and John Cena. Good times.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad.
2013, Big Show versus Triple H and Randy Orton.
Yeah.
2014, Brie Bella versus Nikki Bella. 2015, Dolph Ziggler and Lana versus Rusev and Summer Rae.
That one was actually pretty funny, though. I'll give it that one.
2006,
it was good, but it was pretty funny.
2016, Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil. And 2017, Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt. Amazingly, not gender.
Yeah.
1, 2. Okay, I got 4.
I have 5. So my number 5 is Braun versus the Bar. It was literally a feud to have Braun's partner be a 10-year-old boy from the crowd.
My number.
And also bury the tag division at the same time, so.
My number 4, Sasha Banks versus Bayley.
Okay. My number 4 is Carmella versus Asuka.
That was my number 3. Because I only had 3, I miscounted.
Okay, so my number 4 is Carmella and Asuka. My number 3 is Braun and Owens.
Alright. My number 2, Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker and Kane.
My number 2 is Lashley and Sami Zayn.
My number 1, Bobby Lashley or Sami Zayn.
My number 1 is Sasha and Bayley. I chose that literally because it didn't actually end up being a feud whatsoever. They had some interesting things going with Bayley coming out and saying, yeah, Bayley's heel turn, and her coming out saying, Sasha, you ain't shit.
And then
they had to go to counseling
with Dr. Shelby. So
with Dr. Shelby, and they ruined Dr. Shelby with this. I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah,
I thought Dr. Shelby was going to be fun the whole time. Didn't actually work out, and they ended up being friends about 3 weeks later. So, yeah, good feud.
And Paige didn't mention Sami Zayn versus as the worst and anything because he's one of my favorite guys in the company. But holy shit, the rivalry by Lashley was awful. It started with Lashley doing that awkward interview about how he had 3 sisters that meant so much to him and that also beat him up. It was all part of a storyline because it led to Zayn bringing out Lashley's sisters for a Terrible Roll segment. Lashley turned heel straight after it was over while Zayn was out with double shoulder surgery. I wasn't impressed at choice versus Undertaker or Triple H and Michaels versus Undertaker team. They look like 2 guys way past their prime. 2 still in good shape, but they kind of look past their prime when they're working with the 2 definitely out past their prime.
Yeah.
And considering how much TV time was devoted to them prior to Super Showdown and Crown Jewel, clear WWE management had high hopes for them. Their matches didn't live up to the hype. Sasha and Bayley bickered a lot at the start here. Even got into a few fights. There was a tease for one turn heel. Well, it never happened. I think it was an unexample poor storytelling role with no payoff in the end. Perhaps they were kept together because WWE realized they needed them as a face team that could become the women's title champions. I guess we'll find out in 2019. Best Talker. Previous year winners: 2009, Davis Award, Chris Jericho. 2010, CM Punk. 2011, CM Punk. 2012, CM Punk. 2013, Paul Heyman. 2014, Paul Heyman. 2015, Paul Heyman. 2016, Chris Jericho. 2017, The Miz. I have 6.
Okay, so here you go.
Number 6, Paul Heyman.
Okay.
A 3-time winner, number 6.
Number 5 for me is Adam Cole.
Number 5, Daniel Bryan.
Number 4 is Tommaso Ciampa.
My number 4 as well.
Number 3, Paul Heyman.
Number 3, Samoa Joe.
Number 2, Becky Lynch.
Number 2, Becky Lynch.
Number 1, The Miz.
The Miz. For me, The Miz gets the award for the second year in a row because of his consistency all year long as one of the top guys on Raw. And then on SmackDown when he was moved there post WrestleMania. I like Becky Lynch as much as the next guy, but I can't think of memorable promos she did prior to SummerSlam when she did her turn.
Yeah.
The awards for 12 months, not the last 5 months. The Miz gets to talk on TV as much as anybody because Vince McMahon trusts him to deliver quality promos, whether it's being serious or comedic. And The Miz manages to pull off. I enjoy his promos a lot. Samoa Joe has a great delivery with his promos as kind of like a silent mercenary that's there to get in the head of his opponent. That's the kind of old school heel I like. Ciampa is similar to Joe in a lot of ways in terms of promos. Paul Heyman will be higher, but the act with Lesnar's repetitive. and nothing said it should really stood out to me until except for the. It was recently too. He said something.
Oh God.
But look at some up on the internet about the current generation or something. You know what I'm talking about.
Google it, bitches.
Google it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's only one line. If Dale Bryan can keep his heel persona going all year long, then he might win this award next year. Because he's been incredible the last 2 months. Best NXT TakeOver special. In previous years, where did it go? Previous years, TakeOver Brooklyn, 2015, when I started this award. 2014, why didn't we do this award in 2014?
I don't know.
Okay, 2015 Brooklyn, 2016
We may
Dallas.
have counted it as pay-per-view.
Maybe, yeah. 2016 Dallas, 2017 Chicago. So, here we are. Best for 2018. I put 3 down. Just, Bob, you know what?
There's only 5.
Wait, what there?
Yeah.
Alright, well, I know that we're 4 and 5.
Brooklyn, War Games, New Orleans, Chicago, Philly.
Okay.
There's only 5.
Well, then we'll add 5. Which was yeah, okay, give me a moment. Okay.
Alright, so number 5 for me is TakeOver Philly.
That will be my number 5.
Yeah. Still a very good TakeOver. I graded it very highly. I was there too.
Alright,
With,
so it's not,
with this jabroni.
but it's not biased, clearly.
Yeah, it's not biased. But yeah, I had a ton of fun there, and overall, from all the takeovers that happened this year, that is the worst one. But that's like being the worst of all the golden eggs, whatever that means.
Yeah, that was my number 5 as well. Zero Philadelphia.
Number 4, Chicago.
Same here.
Number 3, New Orleans.
Number 3, Brooklyn.
Number 2, Brooklyn.
Number 2, War Games.
Number 1, War Games.
Number 1, New Orleans.
Okay.
It's like picking between your children, not your golden eggs.
Not your red-headed stepchildren.
I don't have any. I don't think. Do you?
No.
Alright. That you know of?
No.
Alright. How about that you don't know of?
That I don't know of.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
Hey, Yolanda.
Yeah.
I hope it's not Seth Rollins' girl. It might be the man.
Man.
That's Ronda's. That's what Ronda says man. At least I hope she's wearing underwear. Well, Miz isn't right now on TV, but that's okay.
Yeah, Ms. and Mrs. is on after SmackDown, which we're taping this third part.
And Miz isn't wearing underwear, but that's cool with me. Hopefully Ronda is.
Yeah.
Nasty. Listen, I love them all, the takeovers, but it's hard to say what you love the most. New Orleans is my favorite due to the outstanding Gargano Ciampa, plus the 6-man ladder match and everything else on that show. It's probably the only show I will ever say, if I was rating on a scale of 10 out of 10, it would probably be only the second show I will ever give a 10 out of 10 to, so far. The first obviously being WrestleMania 17, if you don't know me by now. I love that takeover. Listen, I have a few reasons why I don't include the takeovers in the pay-per-views. I think they should be separate because there are different people in the shows. There's a different feel to them. And I think takeovers are so great that they deserve their own category. There are awards, so our rules apply.
That, and if we added them in with the pay-per-views, they would literally take up the top 5.
Okay, let me finish my last line. If I did include the takeovers in the same category as main roster pay-per-views, this was a year where all 5 takeover shows earned higher scores than the 15 WWE pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Ironically,
and as soon as I say my top pay-per-view predictions, my top pay-per-view favorites, it actually proves that all the takeovers were better.
So I will say this: the Big Four, well, the SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and Rumble were very close to the takeovers.
Yeah,
I will say that. Let's lead into best pay-per-view year. In 2009, I gave it to SummerSlam. In 2009, best pay-per-view. We're Night Champions, but I gave it to SummerSlam. 2010, WrestleMania 26. 2011, Money in the Bank. Well, Surgery pick in 2011. 2012, Extreme Rules. Once again, what the hell are you picking then? 2013, SummerSlam. 2014, WrestleMania 30. 2015, WrestleMania 31. 2016, Money in the Bank. 2017, Royal Rumble. I don't have the 5 down, but I know my 5. So
Okay. Alright, so number 5 for me would be TLC.
Number 5 for me was in fact that.
TLC. My number 5 is Survivor Series.
Okay.
Special honorable mention to All In. My number 4 is TLC.
Okay. My number 4 was SummerSlam.
My number 3 is SummerSlam.
Number 3, Hell in a Cell.
My number 2 is Evolution.
Number 2, Royal Rumble.
And my number 1 is Royal Rumble.
Number 1, Evolution. I sound like such a hypocrite. When Stephanie made an announcement back in July.
Yeah. Well, they proved us wrong. Match put on a good show.
Girl power.
And by the way, the worst takeover was Takeover Philly, the weekend of Royal Rumble.
Right.
And I liked
Good night,
Takeover
boys.
better.
Good night.
Good night.
That's what 2018 was all about in WWE Girl Power. The first ever women's pay-per-view, Cold Evolution, for me was better than any pay-per-view in WWE this year. But by the way, though, these 5, and I forgot Survivor Series for some reason, those 6 pay-per-views were actually great shows, though. But I'd grade them like A minuses. Whereas World of Takers were A pluses. No.
Yeah.
I think one of the pay-per-views I might have gotten like a B plus out of these 6. But, I will say this, WWE, not counting the Australia's Soy shows, WWE's been on roll with their regular pay-per-views
Yeah.
since SummerSlam. Yeah.
And by the way, just because I said honorable mention for All In doesn't mean they're worse than the 5 I mentioned.
Right, yeah.
Or lesser than the 5 I mentioned. It's literally just because it's all WWE.
Yeah,
It was more like a special shout out.
and for me, Evolution had pretty good matches all night long. Arguably the best main roster match of the year. With, Alicia Flair. And it was just a fun night of wrestling, and it was a good reminder why we love this crazy business. I don't think it was an all-time great pay-per-view, but it was clearly the best of the year. Royal Rumble was fun. 2 Rumble matches, including the first Women's Rumble, and some other good matches. And I thought Hell in a Cell was consistently good from top to bottom. Best match. Previous year winners in 2009, Undertaker vs. Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. 2010, Undertaker vs. Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 26. 2011, CM Punk vs. John Cena at Money in the Bank. 2012, Undertaker vs. Triple H, Shawn Michaels as the ref. 2013, Brock Lesnar vs. CM Punk. 2014, the Wyatt family versus the Shield at Elimination Chamber. Brock and Punk at SummerSlam, if you don't know that match. 2015, worst pay-per-view of the year, about Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins versus John Cena at Royal Rumble.
Yeah. That was the only good match on that card.
Though I might be favoritism here because Bayley versus Sasha in Brooklyn did happen in the same year.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So there might be favoritism there, but I'm still sticking with that one. 2016, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, NXT TakeOver Dallas. And 2017, John Cena versus AJ Styles at Royal Rumble. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I got down to 5, but let me tell you, this one was a really hard one, though.
Yeah, it was.
And even if the storylines weren't always there to pay-per-views, almost every pay-per-view has something.
Yeah.
Or even TV show, if you go that far. So, yeesh. Right, now we're down to 5.
Alright, so my number 5 is Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan at Survivor Series this year. Very good match. Kind of almost very similar to AJ and Lesnar last year. My negative against it was literally Bryan literally just turned heel and had to be the face in peril automatically. But still, excellent showing. Bryan and Brock worked their asses off that night.
For me, number 5, Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano, NXT TakeOver Chicago. Chicago Street Fight.
Okay. My number 4 is Asuka, Becky, and Charlotte, TLC at TLC.
My number 4, North American Championship ladder match, Adam Cole versus EC3 versus Cody Davis, Lars Sullivan versus LT3 versus Ricochet, NXT TakeOver New Orleans.
My number 2...
3.
I'm sorry, my number 3 is Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano, TakeOver Philly. I may be a little biased because I was there, but that match is awesome.
But we actually do our 100 matches of all time properly later this year. Properly, meaning we'll get them uploaded before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's not biased, believe me. So don't call it bias.
Alright.
And number 3, last man standing, or last woman standing around, Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair at Evolution.
My number 2 is Ciampa versus Gargano. Chicago Street Fight, TakeOver Chicago.
Number 2, NFC Championship, Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano. TakeOver Philadelphia, not biased.
And number 1 for me is going to be Becky and Charlotte, last one standing. Yeah, it's a big, maybe not as great as a quality as the other 2 behind it, but I think the moment should carry it and give it some little props.
And number 1 for me, unsanctioned match, Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. NXT TakeOver New Orleans. And I think we were spoiled this year in terms of great matches. People complain about bad stuff in WWE all the time, but there were so many outstanding matches. 4 to 5 listed for me are from NXT TakeOver events, which shows how special they were. My winner is the first of the 3 Gargano Ciampa TakeOver match because it was the first chance for Gargano to get revenge on his former DIY tag partner in a brutal match in New Orleans. It was so great with one of the hottest crowds of the year. I loved it. The same goes for everything else on here and stuff that I didn't put on the list. Best feud. Alright. Yeah, 5.
You got 5?
Yes.
So you don't have past winners?
Okay, past winners. 2009, CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy. 2010, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan. 2011, Randy Orton versus Christian. 2012, CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan. 2013, CM Punk versus Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. 2014, Daniel Bryan versus The Authority. 2015, Bayley versus Sasha Banks. 2016, AJ Styles versus John Cena. 2017, Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman.
Alright, so my 5 is going to be Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black.
Okay. Number 5, AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe.
My number 4 is going to be Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton.
Number 4, Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton.
My number 3 is going to be AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe.
Number 3, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles.
Number 2 is Becky versus Charlotte.
Number 2, Becky versus Charlotte.
And number 1, Ciampa and Gargano.
Yeah, Ciampa and Gargano. I'm a pound on some because Gargano versus Ciampa was the best feud of the year. They have 3 outstanding NXT TakeOver matches. With, I believe 2 of them earned a 5-star rating, I believe. Well, 2 of them got A+ from me. And I think 1 got an A. I think the Brooklyn one was the A.
Yeah.
New Orleans and Chicago got the A+. I don't want to blow out.
I literally just didn't want to give another spot to Ciampa and Gargano, so I wanted to mix it up a little bit. Because the unsanctioned probably should have been on my list, thinking about it now.
To all wrestlers out there, if you ever go by his awards, don't work too hard, because you might not get an award, because you're already on the, you already received the award, even if you deserve another one. Alexa Bliss over that man. No, not that man. that one man's husband for top 5 heels. Mike heels. Unbelievable. Just remember that Gargano and Ciampa. Your match was so great, you should not be in your top 5.
Yes.
Yeah, New Orleans and Chicago were A+, and the third one, Brooklyn, was our good one. The Rider was so great that when Ciampa will walk to the room with no entrance, the fans were booing him the entire time. These are NXT fans who want to cherry match it. So it's impressive how much they were into it. Becky and Charlotte had a great rivalry on SmackDown with multiple great matches at Evolution, TLC with Asuka, plus Hell in a Cell, Lynch won the title, and Super Showdown. I think what hurt them from winning this award for me is that for both of them were faces for most of it. But it wasn't as intense as it could have been one of her faces. Later on, if you really got intense. It was still one of the best women's feuds on the main roster in WWE history. Or arguably the best women's feud in WWE main roster history.
Yeah.
I liked Bryan vs. Styles a lot because of the term Bryan, plus the great match they had at TLC. It was better than Bryan vs. Miz, believe it or not.
Yeah, it was.
Which was very good too. Don't get me wrong. And Styles vs. Joe and Jeff vs. Orton. kind of went places that you don't normally see WWE go anymore.
Yeah.
With the whole family with Joe and AJ and disturbing.
Violence against Jeff Hardy,
and Randy Orton. Yeah, so it's her. And Raw has some great feuds as well, but we will not tell you them. Well,
that is true. We won't tell you them.
Best female wrestler of the year in previous years: 2009, I gave it to Mickie James. 2010, Natalya. 2011, Beth Phoenix. Literally, just give it to whoever was most talented the whole championship that year. 2012, Eve. To be fair now, her heel character was great.
Yeah.
2000... Wait, she should have been 2012. So, 2013, AJ Lee.
AJ Lee didn't really wrestle that much in 2012.
Alright, so, okay, alright.
She was either Brian's manager or general manager.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, so. 2014, Paige. 2015, Sasha Banks. 2016, Charlotte. 2017, Asuka.
Alright, so I had my the standard 5.
I knocked one off, but I know who she was.
Okay. Number 5. I originally had Ruby Riott, but I remembered somebody that ridiculously impressed me in the Mae Young Classic, and that she deserves a spot. So, Meiko Satomura, you get the spot.
Number 4. Number 4. That was my 5.
Ah.
That's why I knocked off.
Number 4, Asuka.
4, Asuka.
Number 3, Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey, just to clarify, Mako knocked Shayna down to 6 for me.
Okay.
Yeah. 3, Ronda Rousey.
Number 2, Becky Lynch.
2, Charlotte.
Number 1, Charlotte.
1, Becky.
To me, I think Charlotte just had a lot more better matches than, or a lot more great matches, I should say, than Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch really just came on towards the end of the year. Charlotte had been putting on strong matches throughout the year.
We've been doing awards for 10 years, and nobody's won this award twice for me. Nor has there been a repeat winner. Charlotte Flair came very close to winning this year, but I must give a nod to the man.
The man.
Becky Lynch. Becky's set the world on fire. In the last 5 months, is the face that people have liked for years. That was held back for most of the last year. And when she filled the win until SummerSlam, she attacked her best friend Charlotte. It was supposed to be a heel turn for Lynch, but the fans supported them. But Lynch rolled out of a couple outstanding matches at Evolution with Flair and TLC with Flair and Asuka. That helped get her this award. So Marvel Zero Violence character while she's improving all aspects. By delivering quality promos, rile up the crowd as well as anybody, delivering big angles like what she helped SmackDown's woman in a role in one of Raw's most memorable moments. Great year for Becky. I hope she rises momentum further in 2019. This was the best year I'll go on record and say of Charlotte's career.
Yeah.
Even though she didn't win the award, and somebody said she was the best women's wrestler in WWE, I won't argue with them. The difference between her and Becky is she got more opportunities the entire year. By that I mean she had a great WrestleMania match with Asuka and was constantly pushed aside from a break for a month after getting breast implants. Yes, I noticed that, by the way. Anyway, Flair's race performance was great.
I don't think it's impossible. I think it's impossible to not notice them.
I think if she turned heel, she will have a better run than she did in 2016 as a heel, because she's better in the ring now.
However, to be fair, I think she got them enhanced because her old ones ruptured.
Yeah, so yeah.
I believe that's why she got it.
I know some people criticize her for her push, but I also think she deserves it, and she's an awesome performer. Ronda Rousey was impressive in her rookie year. The fact that she could consistently have good matches less than a year in her WWE career is awesome. Some of her promos were solid too, to be fair, some of them. Especially against Nikki Bella.
Yeah, those are pretty good.
I know that she has points to our family soon in her WWE career, may not be that long. But if she keeps that for another year or two, she's going to be outstanding at everything. She's definitely similar to Kurt Angle in this rookie year in terms of how fast she has adapted to pro wrestling. She adapted 2 decades ago. And Asuka started the year great with the Rumble. And then I also matched with Flair at WrestleMania. And followed that with the worst matches of her career with Carmella, which was not Asuka's fault. That's why this isn't held against her. At the end of the year, she finally got back to that good spot with the SmackDown Women's title TLC. She's one of the best women's wrestlers in WWE. And for the finale, up next, in part 4, at least you're getting a lot of content this week,
Yes.
our best male wrestler of the year, and our overall false of WWE for 2018. See you then.
See you then.